Hello, good morning, and welcome to the Full Force News Burst special unboxing. Yes, going a bit earlier today. Apologies for that. Yeah, you know how it is. Very busy at the moment. I've been able to get any news bursts out, and there hasn't really been much to talk about anyway. So it's nice to finally have this beauty in hand. I say finally. I was not expecting to get this at this early stage, honestly. But it's very cool to have the Tele-Viper and Cobra flight pod, the trouble bubble, which we will obviously be opening today. Well, I will. You'll just be watching. Who's joining me already? There seems to be people already up at this disgusting time. I'm kidding. Stephen Chaser, how you doing? Philly, what up? Mark Cully, how you doing, buddy? Watching the footy, of course. First question, where you get it? Philly, thanks to the good folks at In Demand Toys for this one. Nick Mass and the team at In Demand Toys. What's up, Cheese Bags, Jason? Hello, the Figure Six Pack. Hello, Tristan McDonald. I hope everyone's doing really well this morning. Yeah, we're going to be busting this beauty open today. I can't even get my head in the shot, can I? It's such a massive box, Kitty said. Yeah, so first of all, apologies for just being off the grid for what was it, almost a week, as if. But anyway, we'll be doing a lot more as soon as I can get the opportunity to. We're going to be doing loads more content, don't worry. I've got a few videos lined up as well that should be coming out soon. I'm talking to Corey Cantalupe today, so we'll hopefully get that edited and up before the end of the week. And what else is happening? We've got a monthly scheduled. We'll hopefully be getting that out as well earlier in the month rather than the last possible day, which is what we seem to do every single time. But yeah, lots of good stuff coming. But for today, we are breaking into this beautiful classified series, Tele-Viper and the Cobra Flight Pod. Again, courtesy of the good folks at In Demand Toys. Right then, let's get into it then, I guess. Let's do it. Okay, right then, let's get that out. But we'll look at the box first. Now, I was told initially, I think Mass messaged me to say, "Hey, we've got Tele-Vipers in, but the box isn't in great condition. Is that a problem?" And I was like, "I don't care. It's fine. I just want the blooming figure and the vehicle as soon as possible." And it's not too bad. There's a little ding in the corner there. You can see that. Which has kind of like caused a little bit of rumpus in that corner. But other than that, it's perfectly fine. So I'm not that fussed at all. It's, like I said, other than that, it's in beautiful condition. So you've got the figure render on the front. Now, again, this one has like vibes of, I don't know what it has vibes of. I guess it's a location homage in this one. Maybe a Rise Serpentor Rise. Because obviously there's the famous Trouble Bubble fight between Dr. Mindbender and the Sarge in that episode, isn't there? And it does look a little bit like, was it Sun Tzu they get in his DNA at that point from that like pyramid in the middle of nowhere? What do you guys think this location homage is about? I think it's that, but I could be way off, couldn't I? I have been in the past. I'm thinking that maybe that scene in a Rise Serpentor Rise, but obviously, I'm happy to be proved wrong if you guys know. Someone says must be the toy commercial, Figure Six Pack. That's interesting. I'll have to go and watch that again. The Trouble Bubble and Tele-Viper commercial we had in the UK I think was the same, but obviously redubbed a little bit and changed around. Or did we have a specific one? We might have actually had a specific one. But we usually utilize a lot of the American visuals and just change the audio and the voiceover. But I'll have a look at that one because I can't remember what the commercial is. Maybe it is. Hello, Mark from Talking Joe. Hello, Modest Toy Collector. So I'm just checking to see if there are any other comments I've missed. EA Gonzalez from the Philippines. How are you? Thanks for joining right now. No tea and biscuits, Philly, sorry. Stephen's in Florida. Good morning in Florida. Australia 1, England 3 World Cup final. Here we come. Wow. I've not been paying attention, Mark. I'm sorry. But yeah, I've kind of caught some of the highlights here and there, but that's awesome. Go on the Lionesses. Damn you, Chris. England beat us, and now you bust out the Tele-Viper. Sorry, Shark Eyes. Let's open it. Let's get stuck in. Well, actually, before we open, we've got to look at the rest of the box, haven't we? I just wanted to make sure I didn't miss any comments. There's the artwork, which is absolutely awesome. I love that. Like, he's just cocked the TV gun he's got. I know it's more like he's just posing, but it does look like he's just cocked it. And there's all his weapons and gear and accessories and everything. Minus the actual trouble bubble, because that is effectively a vehicle, I guess, and not an accessory. Got the little mine. I can't wait to get the little mine out. It's so awesome, and it's mine. Cobra Tele-Viper and Cobra Flight Pod, trouble bubble in brackets. So they kept that. That's lovely stuff. Happy with that. There's the big artwork on the side. Some really nice kind of viewpoint of the artwork there as well. A lot more of it. Number 79, of course. And we flip it round and we have the usual QR code, which leads to nowhere, and his stats, which I should have checked beforehand. I do this every single time. I should have checked beforehand. I haven't. And someone in the comments can just tell me, can't they? But I'm going to quickly, he says, get the key that I have on here on my phone, and I will find out what it's actually good for. War, huh? So the first one looks like a level 3. That's got to be communications, or some sort of thing where they halt communications, but it's got like a communications like thingy-majig on there, like a telecommunications maybe. It's got to be, hasn't it? Let's have a look. I'm looking. It's communications. So they're a level 3. No, level 2 communications for a Tele-Viper. That first one is a level 2 communications. I am shocked that it's so low. There's also a level 2, it looks like a little mobile phone, which is, oh, there it is, telecommunications device. So there are level 3 communication, sorry, level 2 communications, level 2 communications device. There's 2 on the left there. And then we've got a couple of level 1s, I think. They are not given the best like specs, are they? What is that? It's like a square. I'm sure I'll find it on here, or maybe I don't. I don't know what that one is. Maybe you'll have to let me know what that one is, guys. The lock one, though, that is cryptography. So there are level 1 cryptography. So it's communications device, unknown, and then the last one is, I just said it, cryptography, a level 1er. And I will try, oh, I see what it is. It's electrical engineering, the third one. Okay, so the third one is electrical engineering, and they're level 1 at that. That isn't high, is it? And I know like they're Tele-Vipers and they're not supposed to be like the best of the best necessarily, but you think they'd be good at those things. Like you think they'd be level 4s or even 3s at some of those. But anyway, that's irrelevant, isn't it? Spin it round and we've got the back. All the info, the figure and vehicle on the back there, and they've got a few call outs. We've got the kind of device on his wrist, which is really neat. I can't wait to see that in real life. The kind of back jetpack propulsion system for the trouble bubble itself, and we've got the Cobra sigil highlighted on there on the left bicep of the Tele-Viper. There you go. There you go. That's it. On the top is just that, and on the bottom is just that. The usual. The usual. Let's bust this open because I know you're all dying to get into this. I know I am. Give it old snippy clipperstein on the side. I've gone on the side that's the more damaged side, so it doesn't matter if any more damage is done. And here we go. I'll probably swing it around this way. And here we go. This is slightly different to the other ones where you're just going to have to see the whole thing at once. Whee! Oh, no, maybe not. I should have opened it the other way. Because there is the Tele-Viper and trouble bubble. And of course, there is a massive weapons locker as well. Let's look at the weapons locker. I'm putting this out of the way. That goes there for now. Look at that. It's a lot of text, isn't it? Tele-Viper and Cobra Flight Pod Trouble Bubble weapons locker. We've got the Cobra sigil on one side, 79 on the other. We've got again there's the handle at the edge. Yeah, it's all right. It's all right, isn't it? I much prefer the older style, the blue ones. I thought they were great, but these ones are a little bit more like chill. Now we've got a couple of bags there, so I'm guessing, and we've got that kind of separation system inside of the cardboard separation system, and of course your usual legal gumph, which nobody cares about. Nobody cares. Let's open these bags of crisps to see what we've got. Okay, this is the crisp end. Wow, loads of stuff. I kind of almost forget what this figure comes with, even though we've seen tons of images. We've reported on it multiple times. We've got something in this bit of cardboard. Let's deal with that first. Snip that out. There we go. I'm assuming it's some sort of, yeah, it's just one of the it's the big gun on the bottom of the trouble bubble. So there you go. There's your blaster. Pew 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 pew. Very neat. Lots of detail on it as well. Actually, loads of detail on it, really, like little pipes and, you know, little hole, like air coolant holes and all sorts of cool stuff going on. And then obviously a little tab in the top there. Sorry, I'm just going to cover some, what's the word? Comments is the word I'm looking for. Someone in UK posted they had a tripwire in hand today. Crazy times. It isn't it much. Just the news at the moment is there are a lot of classified figures flooding us constantly. George says, "Good morning, Chris. Good to see your beautiful face." Thank you, George. You have a more beautiful face. Morning from a Brit in New York City, says Punking. Hello, Punking. Brit in New York City, Brit in the Boston area. Columbus, Ohio, is that where Andy's from? Brilliant. Loads of people all over the place joining. Not sure if it's been mentioned. Valkyrie's shipping from Pulse on the 28th. Brilliant. Again, this is the news at the moment, isn't it? Just everything is coming. How do I have this, says Ben. We ordered all of ours to Entertainment Earth, 20 units per character, and we still don't have stuff you guys had a month and a half ago. I get mine from In Demand Toys, which are in the UK, so they get a lot of stuff early because they get it on import. Hello, Neil. Valkyries is sent out in the UK this week. Yep, crazy. Valkyries coming out. And there's loads of stuff like flooding. I mean, we just had that whole wave show up in Hong Kong. The very recent 5-figure wave and Desert Commando Snake Eyes. It's nuts how much this is flying in. Modest Toy Collector says, I'm psyched for the Valkyries. They look really nice. I can't wait to get the Tele-Viper and the robot head sculpt. Oddly, I'm more interested in the figure, says Mr. Cheeseburger. Let's have a look at it. Let's just get stuck in. Sorry, guys, I'm not going to get to all of your comments. There are loads, and it's great that you're all jumping on. I'll try and catch up at some point. Anyway, we've got the blaster there for the trouble bubble. We've got the 2 missiles for the trouble bubble as well, with the dog bone connector, little peg hole there. Yeah, very cool, as you'd expect. We've also got the cutest little mine in the universe. It's so adorable. This is actually smaller than the one that the vintage figure came with. I'd have to get the vintage mine out, but it is pretty big, I'm pretty sure, the vintage one. But this is adorable. It's got like all this like cool detailing all over it, tampos and little awesome little things. You've got a little peg hole there, and you've got a removable kind of, I guess, like panel is the word I'm looking for. The removable panel just pops off, and you can get into the inner workings of the mine, which is pretty neat. Love that stuff. Yeah, that's very nice indeed. Pop that back on. Nice. Goes on there nice and sturdy, not coming off. well on there, well in Garden City. And yeah, brilliant. Love that. I like how tiny it is. We've also got, what are these? What are those? I have no idea what these are, but I'll be working that out as I go, I imagine. They must be for the actual trouble bubble itself. Does anyone in the comments know what these are at the moment? Because I'm not sure yet. Anyway, we missed you, mate, says Shao. Oh, thanks. Or are you talking to somebody else? You might be talking to somebody else. Hello, Dave Flagpoints in upstate New York. We need to hang out soon, buddy, don't we, really? We're not too far from each other. Well, it's still about 4 hours, but oh, they're missile holders. Thank you, Mark, much appreciated. We've also got the weird this, which is a scanner according to the vintage figure, but they've kind of made it something slightly cool. We've seen it in the comic as a TV, like almost like a screen on the end that he shows Cobra Commander and stuff, or whoever is a Tele-Viper shows Cobra Commander. But it's nice to get this kind of vintage inspired accessory. We've got the hose, of course. Hose. We've got multiple heads, but we'll look at the backpack first because that's really cool. It's got lots of nice little detailing on it. You've got a different deco hit on there too with the little buttons. That's really cute. I love that. I love the thought of like a little keypad on there. That's really nice. And of course, loads of detailing on this. We've got this little nubbin on the bottom, I guess, to connect anything to it. Maybe, I don't know. We'll find out. The hose, I think. Yeah, the hose goes there, doesn't it? Hose. So that'll plug on the bottom, like so. I wasn't sure at this stage whether that was the hose connector or maybe there was one on the side, but now I know. That plugs on there, and then obviously that plugs into the bottom, the handle of his scanner. And we've got a Tele-Viper's setup, which is nice. We've also got the heads. Does he come with an analog phone handset in case things go sideways in the field and I need to go old school, says Neil? That would be cool, wouldn't it? No, he doesn't seem to have anything like that yet, but we've got another bag to get into. We've got the kind of like VR headset head, which is actually really, I didn't realize it stuck out like that. That's awesome. I thought it like sat flush inside the kind of visor space. So that's really nice. I like that. And obviously you've got loads of detailing. Nice deco hits again. You've got the kind of purple and black. And of course the little red. Phoebe loves this helmet. She absolutely, yeah, you're right, Phoebes. It's awesome. So that's really cool. And then we've got the, we've got a dark skin tone here as well on this figure. Brilliant. Love it. With the classic goggle visor type thing. Interesting on the back, they don't have, yeah, it's almost like the VR headset thing is like, you know, they've gone all the way and done like an extra section at the back that kind of maybe implants into the brain stem or something. That would be kind of cool, wouldn't it? So obviously that's not necessary really on this one, which is really cool. I like the fact that they've done those additional kind of tooling on there. That's really neat. Kind of made it even more interesting. So good. I like the VR headset, the best of the three heads. It gives a nice modern update to the character, says Wreckship85. I agree on that one. Is this the first hose of the line? No, Talking Joe. We've had a couple. We've had a couple of hoses so far. Barbecue had a hose. It probably might be the same one. But no, we've had a bunch of these. We've had a couple of these so far. Yeah, I'm trying to think who the other ones are. But yeah, it's not the first. Trust me. Trust me. Now on this bag, we've just got the we've got the jet pack, as it were, for the trouble bubble. Just clip that out of the card, and it's got two little connector points there, which obviously slot into the trouble bubble, which we'll see in a second. We've got the deco on the side here with the Cobra logo, the PE49L7A, and how is it taking down Sky Strikers? That's impressive work. Danger, hot exhaust, and again, like loads of cool, like, you know, details. I think these are like little ports where you kind of put gas in, or one of them is like a gas tank kind of cap, which is pretty neat. Anyway, love these. Love these little touches and these little, you know, extras. And then on the bottom, we've got a twin Wibbler, as they call it. Yeah, Mindbender has a hose piece as well. Thank you, Tristan. Yeah, I thought it was. Love that. Yeah, nice. It's got that kind of like connector which allows for the dual movement on those little on the little fins. We'll call them fins. Right. That's all the bits and bobs. Now we move into the figure and the vehicle itself. Ooh. Well, there's a bit of card that just sits up. That's nice, and it just flops down. I like that. Lovely stuff. So here we've got the Tele-Viper. Let's start with the Tele-Viper because obviously that's, you know, the trouble bubble's a pretty cool item. We'll get to that last. But then again, the Tele-Viper's pretty cool as well. Now, a couple of things for me personally. I am a big fan of the Tele-Viper in general. Not just like this particular Tele-Viper, which as I get him out of the box is pretty freaking cool. But no, like the Tele-Vipers in general. The vintage figure was always one that I was kind of like thought was really cool and interesting. And I also loved the fact that because obviously the figure was heavily featured in the comics, in the weekly, in the monthly, and of course in you know, a lot of the VHS episodes we got, the Tele-Viper was quite often in there. He is a stunning figure in the classified series, though. Already, there's your kind of there's the alternate head, I'll say, and then if you flip around, it's the same as the black skin tone. So again, there you go. You've got like effectively the same head sculpt but different skin tones, which is awesome. And like I said, we've also got the VR headset, which is neat. We'll try those on in a sec. Let's just go through the figure itself. It's got a kind of like rubbery secondary around the torso to give it that vest kind of thing. And it's a really nice fit. It's a really nice, like it's not bulky. So you don't kind of have that feeling of it being a little bit too much for the figure. It kind of like, you know, still kind of retains its kind of slim fit, which is nice. The pouches on the front are really cool. Again, lots of different deco hits on there to kind of make details stand out. I like that. And then instead of having exposed skin, we've got this kind of like Under Armour black kind of top, which also goes up all the way on the neck. So you can utilize different heads with different skin tones and, you know, kind of diversify a little bit like that, which is great. We've got it again. The joints are nice and kind of like strong. I'm not having that kind of issue where you go to bend the knee and it's like, oh, that's going to break. So that's nice. There's yeah, it's got like a nice stiffness to it straight out the box. Obviously, you can, if you want to, heat those up just to make it a little bit easier. But honestly, yeah, it's nice and sturdy, and it's got some nice kind of strong joints there. You've also got this secondary belt, which is pretty cool. Spin it round with the little pouches on the side. I like that all the way around. So we've got like a couple of secondaries. We've got the belt secondary, we've got this body secondary, and it just makes for a very interesting and cool figure. And yeah, I'm vibing a lot on this one. Legs have got that kind of like almost like classified texturing on it. That kind of almost like, you know, the material that shows up quite often, but it's actually a good effect and it's a good little texturing on there. I like that. Pouches on the side. There you go. Little thigh pouches. Is that a little stripe running down it? And I just caught the light differently, I think. I thought it was a little stripe running down the side, but it's actually like a sculpted stripe as opposed to a like a color. But yeah, you can see it. I just kind of twisted, obviously, the stripe out of line there with the top. But yeah, that sculpted stripe runs all the way down the side there, which is nice. And legs from Recondo and Falcon, says the figure 6-pack. I thought I recognized them. And they're obviously little boots as well. Thank you, though, for that. Allows me to fill in that information as I go. So thank you very much. Are the mouth details mirrored like the digital render was? Yes. So it's not. It's a different head sculpt then. Yeah. So you can see that the sneer is in the opposite direction on both. So they're different head sculpts completely, which is interesting. I thought they were the same, just recolored, but no, there are differences. There are actually quite a few differences. The sneer is, like you say, is mirrored, and I think the nose is a slightly different, and I think the lines on the mouth are in different places too. You know, like these lines here. So that's really cool. Can't believe they've done 3 separate head sculpts, and they probably could have got away with just recoloring one. Do you know what I mean? Like they probably could have got away with that, but they want to. That's the thing with Classified. They always do these extra like things, and yeah. And right now, man, extra is definitely the the term, isn't it? I'm going to gear him up before we get the trouble bubble out. So let's put the old backpack on, which slides on quite sturdily. That's nice because I've had so many issues with backpacks that don't quite fit properly. Do you know what I mean? Like don't quite go on there. So that, I guess, is for the trigger to slot into. But this isn't always perfect either, but that isn't too bad. You can probably tuck his arm through the pipe, the hose. Let's see if that works. Yeah, that kind of works. Actually, that's quite nice. So I put his backpack on like so. It goes in pretty sturdily. I'm just going to move a little bit there. It's solid. And like I said, I've had issues with backpacks in the past that just don't really go on there very nicely. The gun fits on the peg via the little trigger guard, which isn't like ideal, but it does fix a lot of, like, you know, storage issues, I guess. But yeah, it's one of those things where, like, sometimes I kind of think I wish there was something else that it connected to, so it didn't feel like you were dangerously storing a weapon on a thing. But I know some people think that. I know not everyone really gives a crap, so it's fine. And as you can see, the hose kind of goes over the arm in that position and kind of tucks underneath as well. So it kind of like the arm kind of protrudes through, but it's pretty neat and it looks kind of cool. And I kind of like that. It's not like, you know, your vintage Tele-Viper can do that. So I'm cool completely with that storage option. The best part about the Tele-Viper, I didn't even show on camera, and we'll talk about that next once I get his hand in this on this trigger. Sorry, get his hand on the handle and his finger in the trigger. God, that is not easy. There we go. Better for it to be a bit of a mission to get in there than for it to not fit at all. But there you go. Nice. And this is the thing I wanted to look at. This really cool wrist device, like comms device, with all that nice little tampos and stuff on it. It's really cool. And if you were to read it that way up, yeah, that's pretty neat. It's got all sorts of little things on it. So he would see it that way up if he looked at it. Hang on. Yeah, if he actually looked at it, that's what he'd be looking at, which is pretty cool. Anyway, Tele-Viper, amazing. Very happy with this one. All red. Yeah, this is already becoming a favorite of mine. Of course, you got the little antenna on there as well, which is pretty cool on his backpack. There he is. There he is, the old Tele-Viper. Now let's try and change some heads, shall we? Pops off very comfortably. First, we'll try the alternate skin tone, and again, looks freaking awesome. Very nice indeed. So again, happy with the heads on that. Proportions are really good, Dave. Absolutely, I agree with that. Does his scanner feel like it's made of solid plastic or the more malleable plastic, Toy Bounty Hunter? It is definitely the more malleable plastic, but it's not bendy. At least it's not long enough on my one, at least, to be to have that issue that I've been having with like every rifle recently. Just pop in, yeah, okay, pop in the VR headset on. Takes a little bit of elbow grease to pop them on, but you know how it is. Same with all of the head swaps. And it's good that they're a little bit stiffer because then they're going to stay on there stronger. But that looks wicked, doesn't it? I love that VR headset. We might stay with the VR headset for a little while because that is such a cool update. Kind of got some Data Viper vibes going there. Do you guys remember the Data Viper? I'm sure some of you do. Obviously, a few of you are new to the classifieds, new to G.I. Joe, the brand, and therefore probably aren't fully aware of the Data Viper, but that's pretty cool. It's an Arbco branded Rolex. You reckon? You reckon that's what it is, Mark? Arbco Rolex. It's got a little bit of a cute little watch kind of head face on there, isn't it? Yeah, neat. How can these guys afford a Rolex? Exactly. Always loved his quilted vest, like Grandma's, but so different at the same time, Dave. Yeah, absolutely. The quilted vest has always been quite interesting, hasn't it? I agree with that. Definitely like Nana's. Yeah, I like it. They wear Nana's. Did I say stiffness? I did indeed, Neil. Hello, Robert. Punking says, I never buy multiple figures, don't have the space, but they're making it hard to resist buying 3 of these. They really are. I agree with you on that. Is there a non-snarling head, says Neil? No, just the 2 snarls and the... Well, this is a non-snarling head. Could be any head you want inside there. Right, cool. Just double checking. They did the same with Sci-Fi, says the figure 6-pack. Oh, with the 25th. Right, I get what you're saying, yeah. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Proportions, yeah, done that one. I really enjoy that they've been doing those little additional digital readout screen tampos on some of the newer figures. Gives more personality to the figures. It does wreck shit 100%. Could that wrist gauntlet be for an armored Cobra commander? This one. Could, I mean, I would love an armored Cobra commander, to be honest. That looks sick, it doesn't it? Best VR head sculpt. It's neat. I love this VR head sculpt. It's wicked. The Data Viper, the one with the giant solar panels on his backpack, says Wreckship. Recondo had solar panels on his backpack for Pursuit of Cobra. In terms of the Data Viper, I can't remember what he had. He had a lot of stuff. He was like covered in gear, and he had a drone as well. But he was covered in like futuristic weird stuff. But anyway, the Data Viper was pretty dope, and I'd like to see that done in classified. Genuinely would. I think it would be really cool. Anyway, this figure is beautiful. I'm really into it. Should we get to the let's get to the Trouble Buble, which I haven't called it yet, but I have been calling it a lot recently. For any Michael Bublé fans out there, I don't know if you are or not. Probably not on this channel. Now they've gone a little further with the twist ties on these, and they've tied them as opposed to just twisting them. So it will take me a few more moments to relieve the trouble bubble from the back. There we go. Oh, and the side. There's a side one as well. They really don't want this trouble bubble flipping about, understandably. Okay. Oh, this. Sorry, I know I'm doing this off camera, but I don't think you guys really want to see this, do you? Do you really want to see me messing about? There's another twist tie on the front as well. Like they've twisted it at the front. Not even twisted it. They've tied it at the front because they do not want you getting into this in any kind of speed. There we go. Okay, we're in, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so, oh yeah, this is cool. This is cool. I just want to pop the dome down in full. Obviously, it's that kind of like snap in, like little pegs that it doesn't want to go in. Why don't you want to go in your little peg hole? One side does, the other side doesn't. That's going to upset me if it doesn't go in. Oh, there we go. I think it's really just, like I said, just to be a bit stiffer. And obviously kind of, yeah, that's always kind of appreciated. So here is the Trouble Buble, the Cobra Flight Pod, as nobody has ever called it in its existence. 15E3MQ. You've got all the ports there for the missiles on the side, maybe? Yeah, for those missile wibblers, which I didn't realize what they were until now. So they're going to go on there. Well, I know you did tell me, and I did know now, but that's interesting that they pop those off as separate pieces. That's is an interesting kind of situation. And maybe it's to prevent any damage inside the box, because there's plenty of room for these to be on inside that box, but they go on the side like so. And we've got our dog bone missile kind of pegs in place, so we can pop the missiles on the side. This is so cool. I'm having a lot of fun already. I would look around. I'm already gearing it up before we look at all the details. On that side, we've got the SB, and we've got that fuse. Caution, electric pull and twist to release. Interesting. Love all these little tampo details as well. It's really cool. And what I really love on the dome is that kind of HUD, that heads-up display thing. That is so awesome. Let's pop the dome back and get inside it. Now, this little front piece, the kind of grundle humper, as I like to call it, that folds down out of the way so we can get really into this and have a look. Now, Pat and I were joking the other day as to how the hell does anyone like look at the readouts on the either side of the seat when you're actually flying it? Because it's funny that they would have those details in there practically. Do you know what I mean? Like there's the one side with the kind of level gauge, I guess that is 70-30. So it's kind of probably doing that at the moment. You've got those kind of buttons as well in there, the kind of orange buttons, and you've got like almost like a little radar kind of tampo at the bottom. And then on this side, as I knock the Tele-Viper over with my arm, we have more buttons, another kind of little vent, or maybe like a little audio, maybe like a speaker of some description. Again, what are you hearing up there that's not in your headset? Do you know what I mean? That's funny to me. Maybe it's just so you can listen to some really cool music. I remember on the vintage one how wibbly these side things were. They were like kind of like rubbery a bit, weren't they? So they kind of wibbled out a little bit. So they're sturdy on this one, and they've got some very nice detailing, which I'll just get a close up of. I do like that extra deco hits with the black and the little red bit on the end there. I like it. It's really nice. It is very vintage inspired, but it's got these little touches that go a little bit further than the vintage one ever could. And then obviously you've got the you go home, you're drunk. We'll show you this now. You've got like the over the head strap with the peg in it, and you've got the grundle strap which comes to the front, and they just peg onto each other and safely and securely hold our Tele-Viper, which we will have a look at in a second. The seat's got some nice detailing on it as well. You can see all of the, let me move that out of the way with my fingers. And you can see it's got some very nice kind of like lines and textures and all sorts going on there. So that's really cool. I say textures, it's not, it's very smooth, but lots of little lines detailing in there. Very cool. Anything else to really look at? Yeah, I guess this is really neat as well. So on the, do that. On the, that's the Tampo readout on the kind of like display that he'll be seeing face on, and that's very Star Wars. That has that kind of like trench run sort of vibe going on, doesn't it? But again, very nice. We've got a little brake. Oh, that's interesting. My brake on one side, I guess on the handle there with the brakes, you can see a little bit of a white stress mark. Can you see that? So I have to be careful with that. It's not going to break, I don't think, but yeah, it's not. It's just been pushed or bent. So be careful on that, so that you don't get any stress marks. We've got some, again, nice detailing, some grey kind of paneling, and those little bits at the bottom there. And then on the bottom, we've got the skids, so you can stand it upright like so, and it balances nicely as well. We've got the gun to put on here as well. Let's do that. So that just pops on the little ball joint at the bottom. Is it on there? I guess it is. Oh no, it might go on a bit further. There wasn't a satisfying kind of clip or snap, but that's really neat. And there we go. Now we've got the kind of blaster in tow. We've got the jetpack to put on, and as I said before, we've just got the 2 ports and the 2 holes. Let's pop that on there. And that's on. Actually, that is actually quite. That's on there quite sturdy, so I can hold it and shake it. And it's not, it actually isn't going anywhere. The gun's fallen down, but it's not, it's on there quite sturdily. It hasn't like come out in any way, shape or form, or even slightly. So that's nice. That's good to know that that is a sturdy little trouble bubble. This is so cute. I can't even, it is the cutest little blooming vehicle ever. I know it's not supposed to be cute, but unfortunately that's what it just gives me cute vibes. The trouble bubble always has done. And like the gun stays up pretty well at and obviously they're going to be holding that as well, so it's not like a problem where it's going to be tipping a lot. It does move a little bit, but it's got to be it's going to be difficult to make that really tight. And like you say, when you like actually just put it down, that's not going anywhere because it's in the same, like it kind of levels out when you put it on the floor because the bottom of the blaster kind of like levels it out. So the only time that gun's going to fall down is if no one's in it and you do that. That's the only time that's going to happen. It does stay where you want it, but like I said, you're going to have the hands on the handlebar, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, where can we put this little baby? So is that like a little port? I've got to look for a port for this somewhere. Does anyone know where this goes? If it does go anywhere, because I think that is a bit of a fail if there isn't anywhere specific for this to kind of like wedge into or slot into or connect to. There is like there's a peg on it, so I'm guessing it pegs onto something. Can someone let me know? Skids on the bottom and you say nothing. Kitty said, there you go. Oh, I missed loads of comments. I know that. Looks like a speaker for playing Flight of the Valkyries in combat, Toy Bounty. Yes, when I was talking about that little kind of speaker. Yes, that's what it is. We've come a long way since the coil bike and ram cycle, says Shark Eyes. I like the ram, but yeah, and the coil's all right, but I know what you mean. It's definitely, they've definitely gone up a level, haven't they, basically? You can definitely tell there's been a serious budget change increase. I really want this little mine to go somewhere. The hole in the bottom is for the blast effects. Well, I know that. The hole in that. But I mean, like, I want to put this in here somewhere. It's got to go somewhere, right? You'd think it has to. I would have done anyway. If I was designing this, I'd have like clipped it to the bottom there, like inside the skids. The original flight pod seated the mine in the seat. The pod was probably flown like a drone. Yeah, you're right, but there's no peg for it on the seat. Otherwise, that's where I put it. But yeah, there's no, unless maybe it pegs into the. No, it can't really peg into the seat belt because that peg's already going to be utilized. I don't know where it could go. Well, in that case, that's made me a little bit sad because I did expect there to be some place for the little mine. I guess it's just sits next to it and just chucks it out the side. Yeah, we can just put it on the seat, I guess. I'll just put it there for now, and then it's not like pegged in or anything, so it's going to just be flopping around in there like crazy. But there it is. He's flying it. Then the mine is flying it as it falls out. Okay, I am going to pop a Tele-Viper in here, or the only Tele-Viper that is in my possession right now is this guy. I'm going to take his backpack off. I'm going to keep his VR headset on as if like he has to fly it, with the VR headset, because that's how the modern Trouble Bubbles operated. Did I bend his knee? I did, yeah. It's just very sturdy in the joints, which I really prefer. I really like that because I can over time they're going to get a little bit loose as well. So you want it to have as long lasting kind of stiff life as possible. Kitty said. Right, so he's gonna sit in there like so. Probably gonna have to move him about. This is gonna take some finagling, isn't it? Yeah. Have his legs sticking out like a little toddler, all excited to be flying this thing. Let's get his hands around the old. I suppose like the brakes are on a weird position, aren't they? Like they're kind of where the thumbs would be. So do you put the whole hand over the whole thing? I guess you do, because it doesn't really work any other way. So yeah, I'll have to do that, which makes me a little nervous based on the fact I've already kind of slightly damaged the the one brake, and then you have to kind of like get the seat belt on. Actually, I should have done that first. Let me get the seat belt on first and peg that in, because that's going to be almost impossible to do when you've got the steering column in front of him. Okay, here we go. This is great for radio, isn't it? Now, the seat belt is one of those peg systems that does take a little bit of work to pop in, but it has gone in. There we go. He is now safely and securely seat belted, which is great. And we can bring that up, pop his hands around the brakes and the handlebars, like so. And hopefully that works nicely. Yep, there we go. All right then, so our Tele-Viper is in the Trouble the Trouble Bouble. Let's sit him back a touch, get him a little bit more comfortable. At the moment, his arms are preventing him from sitting down there. I'm gonna have to move his arms a little bit. There we go. There we go. Again, took a little bit of work, but he's in there and he's looking awesome. Oh, this is beautiful. This is really cool. Yeah, I'm a big fan of this heads-up display, holding the old Johnny Five head. It does look a little bit short circuit, doesn't it? That little kind of like steering column. But we do end up with some loose bits, which I kind of feel needs to be addressed here. Do we know if this does fit on anything? I guess if you take, because I used to do this with the mine back in the day on the vintage one. I take it off and I'd pop it on the back. But yeah, you can't, because the peg has got those two spikes on it. So it can't be utilized going into a hole. It has to be a peg that sticks out, basically. And I can't find anything really that would work with that. And I could be being an idiot. There could be something very obvious that I'm missing here. But I'm pretty sure the mine doesn't really go with the geared up Trouble Bubble, which, like I said, is a bit of a shame. But you know, you'd think like maybe it could like fit on like there or something. Or maybe it does go on there. Maybe this is it. Oh, is this it? No, it's not. It's just a little bit too big to squeeze into that hole on the back. That is a shame, isn't it? Maybe it goes in that one. No, I can't. It literally can't reach that one. So yeah, I always thought I was in there. I genuinely thought it was connected, but no. Like I was trying to put it in that hole there, but like the thing is just too big to go in there at all. That is such a shame. Oh well. That is my only disappointment. The little mine doesn't attach to the Trouble Bubble in any way, shape, or form. That's my only concern. But instead, we do have a very cool Tele-Viper Trouble Bubble situation going on, and this is awesome. I can't be upset. I genuinely can't. Again, loads of awesome head sculpts as well. Loads of awesome accessories. Got the vintage accessory, the backpack, and the scanner. We've got the little mine. It is great. This is a fantastic set. I didn't show this bit either, did I? But there's a massive black and white art piece there of the Tele-Viper in the inside the box too, just in case you were wondering, just in case anyone cared about that. And I think that's it pretty much. Let's see what I've missed in the comments. Probably loads. He clearly just holds it and drops it as needed. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what he's doing. I wonder if there's a way to attach a flight stand since it didn't come with one. That's actually a good shout. So on the bottom, there's not really anything going on there other than these two skids. So maybe something could be worked out around those. But yeah, I don't really see anywhere natural for that to be the case. But I'm sure you can get flight stands that have like some sort of generic kind of connectivity. But yeah, that would be cool as well. Like a flight stand for this would have been dope, definitely. Maybe just like two blast effects that turn into like, you know, like a stand that you could plug into the back and it just kind of like as if it's like coming to land or taking off, that kind of thing. That would be pretty neat, actually. How would I feel if they did a Battle Hornet flight pod to follow up this one? What, like a G.I. Joe version? I think that would be kind of cool, actually. You know, like, but I do fully, like, there's certain vehicles and certain things that just scream Cobra or Joe, don't they? Like, in terms of the Trouble Bubble, it's ubiquitously, it's like just 100% Cobra, and even like a Tiger Force version or something probably, you know, that they do take, you know, Cobra vehicles and repaint them in certain cases. Some things just I don't think necessarily would translate. The trouble bubble might be one, in my opinion. I know the His Tank's one because they tried it with the Chimera, and I really didn't think that worked. Like a green Joe His Tank just didn't work for me at all. It was very like shattered glass, but not, because that wouldn't be the case, would it? Like I don't know. It didn't feel right to me. It didn't feel good. Yeah, maybe it just gets buckled in for safety, Dave. Maybe it does, the mine. A mine is a terrible thing to waste. Genius, Will. Genius. Can't wait, looks good, says Robert Travis. I wonder if 9-year-old me saw a grown man playing with these toys, if I would want to play with them too. I doubt it. As a kid, it was always kind of uncool, the things adults were into. That's a good point, Neil. If anyone saw me like messing around with this, they're probably like, yeah, that is not cool in any way, shape, or form. There's a guy with a Batman hat playing with a toy on the television. Dad, can you make it stop? Good morning, Flaffle. Putting on the belt for the Tele-Viper is like putting on a diaper for a toddler, says the Figure 6-pack. Yeah, I can imagine. Quite difficult, and you're probably covered in urine at the end of it as well somehow, like I am here. I don't know how that happened. The old one did sit in the passenger seat, Mark. Yes, I'm fully aware of that, but this also can't do that in the same way because there's no backpack peg for it to pop into. So I don't really know. I'll tell you what, here's an idea. Can the mine just wear the Tele-Viper's backpack? No, it can't. Can't even do that. It's a useless peg. I know that's for a blast effect, but what's that for? It's just poking at you, going, you can't use this on anything. Can you put it on the laser cannon? That's a good point. No, it's the laser cannon's too big. Like the end is too big. There's nothing on the laser cannon to attach it to. Yeah, we're up that creek without a paddle on that one. Seems like just a causality of missing the backpack peg on the seat and replacing it with a red Y seat belt. Yeah, I guess that is the case in this particular scenario, but I would suggest that they could have found a way to put this on. I mean, I'm looking at it now. There are so many places where it could go comfortably if they just had that forethought. Like on there would be fine, you know, just ready to kind of release into the thing. Under here, between the skids, there's plenty of space. Any little peg could just pop on there and you're sorted. But, you know, even if it had just been like on the interior, on the side, in where he sits, somewhere like that, and actually there's no real space there. Or maybe at the back there would be. So maybe like if it was, you know, like, have I found it? No. Maybe if it was like kind of like there or something, you had two of them either side, that would work. There's plenty of opportunity to have this mine connect to the trouble bubble. So yeah, anyway. The panel underneath doesn't remove, does it? Says Shark Eyes. No, it doesn't. It is sort of like a separate piece, but there's you can't be removed. It's almost like the way it kind of goes together as an actual piece. It just kind of like looks like a separate, like it comes out. But yeah, there's no removing that panel. That would be cool as well. But then again, there's not enough space, like, you know, as a storage space. But then there's not enough substance near it for it to house anything as big as that. But yeah, you could get like a couple of little weapons in there though. That'd be really cool. The trouble bubble looks like a Cobra helmet, says Dave. Yeah, it does have. That's what it feels like, isn't it? It feels like a Cobra Commander helmet or a Cobra Trooper helmet. Big time. I think that's what it is. It's those like visual cues. The His Tank obviously being the head of a snake. You know, I didn't really realize that until much later on in life anyway. But I still feel like that it's so synonymous with Cobra. The Chimera looks like a John Deere tractor, says Rachel. I have to agree with that. The Battle Hornet was the 2004 flight pod, and I thought the Chimera was cool, says Robert H. What deco was the Battle Hornet? Was it a different deco? Was there anything different about it? I'm going to have a look, because I cannot remember what the deco was on that. Yojo to my aid. Battle Hornet. Oh, actually, I like that color. That colorway is amazing. I don't recall that in at all. I do not recall it. Like, I've seen the Neo Viper, but I don't think I've ever even noticed. I've probably got this as well and have never paid it any attention. Sorry, just for those that aren't aware, I'm probably the only one at the moment who wasn't aware. Is that beauty, kind of like a black and honestly, that deco is really cool, Robert. I would think that would be a really good repaint for it. I think the obvious repaints are something like that where you've got precedent, and then also I would go as far as to say Python Patrol. And I know that's, again, I think a lot of people are expecting that with the listings and all that kind of jazz. But I do really think a Python Patrol, because obviously it's Tele-Vipers in Python Patrol, so the fact that you can tie them together and we can get a Python Patrol trouble bubble would make so much sense. But I think that deco is nice, Robert. I could see that black and kind of neon, kind of yellowy color. I could definitely see that working as a repaint for this. Maybe even go with something very similar for the Python Patrol. But then again, you're going to be doing the Python vehicle deco for this, aren't you? You're going to be doing the black with the kind of maroon pattern and maybe that kind of phased white effect every now and again. What about underneath? Oh, sorry, Shark Eyes. Yeah, I was talking about that. I can't find anywhere to put that mine, so it just kind of hangs out. Just hangs out with him. You can have it like on his lap, but who wants to fly around with a bloody mine on there? Like, then again, who wants to fly around with a mine attached to any part of the vehicle they're on? Not many people. The missile connectors come out, right? Nothing on those is there. The missile connectors do come out, yes, like so. So the missile and the missile connectors are separate pieces, and it just kind of goes in this little side port right here. Boink. So yeah, the connectors come out. Absolutely, George. I'm not sure you'd want your explosive mine attached to your jet engines, Punkin. Yeah, I get that practically, but in this scenario, please just stick the mine anywhere it goes on there, please, just for my OCD. I'd rather be blown up in mid-flight on a trouble bubble than have to leave my poor little mine behind or carry it on my lap. What if you put it in that groove on the bottom, says Stephen. Unfortunately, there isn't anywhere to there's not enough, it's not enough, there's too much space in there basically, so it just falls out. And I can't see anything that's got like a groove connectivity on there. I don't know. I might have to mess around with this a bit more just to kind of work something out, because I definitely want this to somehow interact with this flight pod, and I just can't find anything on there at all. Anyway, that's really just me and my OC and level of OCD on there that I want it to. I just want everything to be part of the thing. Obviously, spare heads is a different thing. Alternate heads, like, I get it. You're not gonna have necessarily. Although I will say, was it the Ultra Magnus Masterpiece had a little section where you could put the face plates? Do you remember that? Robert H, you'll know that. There was he came with different face plates, and you could put them in his chest, I think, or on his back that hid away. But either way, the Ultra Magnus Masterpiece was really good because you could store all of his stuff that he came with, which was really annoying with Masterpiece, because obviously he came with loads of homage accessories, which were really cool, but only very specifically display pieces. And with that Ultra Magnus, you could get all of those face plates on there, and it was great. So yeah, I would say that one. I'd like them to be able to, store these on person, so you don't have to have necessarily these knocking about, because a lot of the time I'll put the packaging all back together and then store that nice and carefully with all the other packaging, because I like the boxes and I want to keep them. But all of my classified figures are out on display, either on the IKEA bookshelf style or taken up at the moment. 1, 2, 3, 4 IKEA square bookshelf sections, and my desk, which is just covered at the moment in classified figures. It's bonkers. So it would be nice if, rather than having all those like little extra bits and boblingtons, like so, you could, you know, put them on. You could put them, you know, on the actual figure or within some sort of storage scenario, etc., etc. There is a removable panel on the mine. Yes, there is. We opened that earlier, Shark Eyes. So it's basically that little caution panel there. There's a little groove in the top which allows you to kind of like pull the panel down and then out from the bottom, because there's a little peg at the bottom. And then you just simply, one does not simply put the panel back on. See, where did that fall to? Oh, that nice got caught there. Or that could have been like on the floor somewhere and I'll never see it again. And then you just pop, you don't pop it in like that. One does not simply put a panel back on. There we go. There we go. It's on now. So yeah, kind of comes on and off like that. A lot easier if I didn't have to do it in front of a camera like that. But yeah, it is a removable panel. The Battle Hornet was yellow and black with a yellow Neo Viper. Yes, Rachel, absolutely. The other way closer to his legs. So in those two little grooves up there, you mean? Let's see. I mean, there's space for it to kind of like, if they utilize the peg on the bottom, that could sit there either side. Actually, I've accidentally done it. I don't know how sturdy this is because it's just leaning up against. You know, not very sturdy at all. It was basically balanced, leaning up against the blaster and the skid, the little landing skid. But yeah, like I said, if there'd been two little pegs there, perfect. Just pop them in and have two mines, or just the one mine. And then if you got multiples, then maybe one would have two mines, maybe one would have none, and maybe I would drop the mine on the floor and never see it again. I got it. Yeah, so that's all I can really see on that one in terms of space. You've got two grooves near the front of the legs, and you've got that one groove between the skids, or one space between the skids. But yeah, not a lot of options for your mine, which is it's a shame. Like I'm just that's bugging me. But again, it's not taking away from how cool this is. I'm really happy to have this. In science class at a Cobra High School, they don't give you an egg to take care of to simulate a baby. They give you a mine. That's what they give you. You've got to look after that. If it blows up, then you're all dead. Cobra Commander is the kind of manager who would make you carry your own explosive mine on your lap. I guarantee you would try to complete the job. Does the Tele-Viper have a reinforced cod piece? Nope. Just as Recondo and Falcon don't have reinforced cod pieces, neither does the Tele-Viper. I thought it might be fixable somehow with the panel, but not. Yeah, like if you take the panel off, I see what you mean. Like maybe you could like lock it into something, but no, it's really, there's nowhere for this mine to go, you know, practically or comfortably. Oh, you mean like you were thinking if it went the other direction? No, it's too wide for that. It's too wide for that, and it's too wide even under here to go in there. There's nothing to kind of connect to or hold it to or anything. So yeah, it does have these two little elements though on the side, these two little like little loops. So maybe you could kind of come up with some sort of like string arrangement, like in a, you know, like an orchestra, and kind of connect it to that somehow. I don't know. Well, this is a crowdsourcing sort of problem, isn't it? I don't have an MP Magnus, but I do remember from reviews that you could put the faces in his back. That was it. Thank you, Robert H. In fact, I did a review on that figure, so I should know. Go and check out Diagnostic 80's reviews. I think I did it under that, or I did it for In Demand Toys directly on their channel. I can't remember, but I did a review of that Ultra Magnus, so I should blooming know. I wouldn't put the mine under there. The mine is pressure sensitive if the joystick cannon is lowered. Yikes. Oh, okay. Have you been looking at the blueprints, figure 6-pack? Shark Eyes says, never mind. I like it. Great pun there. Never mind. Right then, that brings us to the end of the wonderful Trouble Bubble and Tele-Viper, or the Tele-Viper and Cobra Flight Pod Trouble Bubble in brackets. That's not a bracket, that's a air quote. Anyway, really digging this. I can't wait to have this on display. I love the VR headset heads. The alternate heads are great too. Little snarly, angry lads, but really nice. The mine is adorable. I love that it has the little removable panel. But the only thing that I have an issue with on this entire thing is the fact that it doesn't attach to the Trouble Bubble. I think that is an absolute missed opportunity. Wait, I think I found where it attaches to, guys. That doesn't really go on there. It's effectively a square peg in a round hole, but it doesn't really fit on there comfortably at all. Anyway, that's the only thing that upsets me about this. I love the fact, obviously, they come with the vintage backpack and scanner. The actual Trouble Bubble is it is so vintage. It's like the original. I'd love to have the original Trouble Bubble just to see what the differences in size, because they feel about the same, weirdly enough. But then again, it's probably because I'm an adult now and have bigger hands. But anyway, I should have got like a comparison of them both. There is a difference, obviously there is. Anyway, thanks, Chris. Only makes me want more than 2 eye orders, says Shark Eyes. Yeah, that's definitely. There is no flight stand, no, unfortunately. And I'm just getting that weird Wi-Fi connectivity issue thing coming up, so I'm going to call it a day. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining me on the show today. It's been a blast. It's been a news blast. It's a news burst, but it's been a burst. This is a beauty. I cannot wait to get it displayed with the rest. Thanks for all the comments as well. It's been great coming back after, what was it, 5 days? Terrible. We'll be back with a lot more content for you. We've got Let's Talk Classified Airborne coming very soon. We've got the monthly round the corner, and we'll be back as normal. Normal service will be resumed for the weekly on Saturday with me and Pat and I. And we will have, we'll be finishing a little bit earlier. So we'll be trying to keep it to an hour because we don't want to kind of roll into Armour, which starts at 11 EST. So you can check out Armour as well on Saturday. It's going to be lots of awesome stuff. And I know Pat's got a panel on that one as well. So you can enjoy his articulated points panel for Armour. Okay, then. I will see you guys on the next one. It's been a pleasure. Don't forget, stay fresh cheese bags. And as always, after 3, 1, 2, 3, full force. See you on the next one.
That's it for this instalment of the Full Force News Burst. Make sure to like, comment and subscribe. See you next time, and as always, full force. Make sure you get involved with the discussion by liking, sharing and commenting on these videos, and as always you can keep up with the show after listening by following on Twitter at The Full Force, liking the Facebook page facebook.com/The Full Force, and if you would like to contact the show you can message us on either of those platforms with feedback and questions. We also have a Patreon page, so if you want to show your support for the show, see your name up in lights on these videos, or enjoy exclusive bonus content, then check out patreon.com/The Full Force Podcast, or click on the link on any of the posts this podcast appears in. Full Force.